If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
It would be easier if people understood social anxiety. To be honest, I don't really know where to begin, so I should just get into it. I have suffered with anxiety for as long as I can remember. When you're younger, you put it down to just being shy and needing something to get you to come out of your shell. One day, everything will click. You'll be able to walk into a room and talk to anyone, without fear or the niggling pain in your stomach. That voice deep inside your head will finally subside. That idea won't fill you with dread. Like everything, okay in theory, but that never translates to real life. Well, it hasn't yet in my experience so far. Eva always been scared of being wrong. Eva always worried about how I am perceived. This probably comes down to my own lack of self-confidence, that I feel I need validation from others to feel worth something. Combine this with an all-consuming phobia of being wrong, and I hardly used to speak when I was younger. So many of my teachers commented on how I was a dream to teach, but flew under the radar because I was too quaint. In my mind, if I kept quiet and to myself, I couldn't be wrong. I couldn't be judged. This image I managed to construct of someone with a few brain cells in her head would vanish and people would think I was stupid. So, I stayed quiet. It answered questions through gritted teeth if asked, but I would never willingly put myself through it. This is something that still persists to this day. Panic attacks. The thing is, people find it difficult to understand. I allow myself to enter frenzies, panic states, over the most seemingly asinine things, walking into work or into lectures where I don't know anyone and either been told to just get over it. When either been in new environments, people have told me that they thought I was obnoxious, awkward, or up myself because I did and talk to them. They never take into account that I am so scared of them judging me or disliking me that it is so much easier to just stay back and act as a stalling stand. It would be so much easier if people understood that I don't hide in the background out of arrogance or egotism. It's because I am absolutely petrified of saying the wrong thing or being disliked. I thought I had control over it, until the panic attacks started. Just out of the blue, it felt like there was a massive weight on my chest, forcing all of the air out of my lungs. My heart would start pounding. My hands would start shaking and it'd start to sweat. It'd get so dizzy and breathless that I had to sit down. Every negative they thought I had would culminate into one massive mass, like a clot, blocking every single synapse that might make it finally stop. I try to be pragmatic, but in those moments, all I can focus on how I'm not good enough or how I'm perceived by others. They would pass after a few minutes, but that mindset would stay with me for days. Whenever I tried to explain this, they'd say I was being overdramatic. There's nothing to worry about, so just pull yourself together. Okay, it may seem stupid for someone who has never experienced the haze of wanting to be invisible in the middle of a crowded room, but if you were in my head for a couple of hours, maybe you would begin to understand why it sometimes consumes me. It's difficult. The actor and the introvert. People also don't understand the two sides of me. I began acting when I was 8 years old, to help develop my confidence. It was an escape, in many ways. I could be someone else, enter their mindset and become everything they were. Give life to women made of words. When on stage, I never really felt nerves. I felt more confident performing in front of tens or hundreds of people than I did having a conversation with a stranger. People could never understand how I could be like that. How come you're so quiet and then you get on stage and wow. It was acting. A persona. I sometimes use it to push through. I work in retail, shout out to Ernest Jones, free publicity there, so I need to talk to people. Before I have served the first customer of the day, I get that sick feeling in my stomach, but then I put on my persona. I play the part of a sales assistant, able to approach anyone without being scared. For the most part, it is still an act. If I let my social anxiety possess me in every way, it'd never leave the house. It'd miss out on every opportunity because it'd be petrified of everyone and everything single thing. There are so many things I have missed out on because I was scared, but there's no point regretting them. All I can do is play my part so that I don't waste this life I've been given. I'm so lucky to be where I am now. I know that I get to study what I love for 3 years and, potentially, find an element of it that will pay the bills. I have the world on a string. All I have to do is be brave enough to take the chances that my anxiety would make impossible. I'm someone who hid in her room for a month during my first year of university because I was scared of going into the kitchen in case someone I didn't know was there. I am someone who would never go to parties where I didn't know anyone else because I was terrified of being judged, and I am someone who blushes involuntarily if someone even speaks to her. This has been my reality for as long as I can remember. Luckily, I have found someone who understands, who has never made me feel stupid or weak for feeling this way, and has helped me through so many times when I thought I couldn't be cope. He makes me brave. My boyfriend is my everything and my strength. My social anxiety will always be a part of me. I am a naturally shy, quiet introvert. I know that. I'll never be a social butterfly, able to start a conversation in an empty room, but I can try to force those feelings of inadequacy to the back of my mind so that I can have normal social experiences like other people my age.